Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's P2P Australia Live regular market update to take a look at the latest insights into the employment and job seeker markets. My name is Kirsten Garrett. I am the manager of the Accounting and Finance Permanent Recruitment Team in our Sydney office, and I welcome you as host of today's very special broadcast. I am coming to you from the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and I would like to pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. So, on today's show, as always, we're going to take a look at some trends, focusing on the recent wage price index that was released by the ABS this week. We will, as always, have some new hot job opportunities here in Australia as well as overseas in New Zealand and the UK. And I'm very excited to be joined later in the broadcast by a very special guest, the founder and CEO of 𝗍𝗶𝗱𝗲𝗍, David Macciocca, to discuss how 𝗍𝗶𝗱𝗲𝗍 has become the world's fastest growing employer brand and recruitment marketing startup, and how the videos are changing the recruitment journey. And as always, we finish the broadcast with our social media polls. I'm very capably supported behind the scenes by our tech expert, Jacob, and I'm thrilled to be doing this for the first time. So, Jacob, let's get started with our stat of the week. So this week we're having a look at the recent wage price index statistics for Q1 of 2024 that was released this week by the ABS. And as you can see from the graph here on the screen, seasonally adjusted wages grew by 0.8% in the March quarter of 2024. The private sector was the main contributor to the overall increase in wages, rising 0.8%, with public sector salaries and wages rising 0.5%. Annual wage growth was down 4.1%. The annual wage growth was 4.1%, down from 4.2 annual rise recorded in the December quarter of 2023. This is the smallest increase in the annual wages since the December quarter of 2020. Throughout the year, the private sector wage growth of 4.1% was slightly lower than the peak of 4.2 recorded over the last two quarters of 2023. But this has been the highest annual growth for the sector since December 2008, so quite some time there. Annually, public sector wages rose 3.8% in the March quarter to 2024, lower than the 4.3 annual rise in the December quarter of 23, but higher than the same period last week. And of note, of course, early in the week, some of you might have seen that the unemployment stats did come out. And in next week's P2P Live, we will unpack those and see how they do affect the recruitment market. So, everyone, that's it for the stat of the week. As a recruitment business, we are excited to share with you our hot jobs. And the first one we've got up on our screen today is being looked after by the beautiful Leanne Lazarus up in our Brisbane office. She's looking for an HR business partner contract role paying $55 to $60 per hour. This is a role where you get to work with senior HR BPs to support the full employee life cycle, which is often sought after by HR professionals. They are looking for a tertiary qualification. So if you're interested and feel this role matches your background and skill set, or maybe suitable to someone you might know, please do reach out to Leanne on the details below. And of course, there is a QR code there as always. The next job's being looked after by yours truly. It is a permanent role in the Sydney CBD. It is within the legal sector, and it is a revenue controller across billing and AR. You will be working very closely with partners in a standalone revenue controller role across billing, WIP, AR, and debt collection. It is, as I said, in the legal sector, so we're looking for similar experience from that industry. If this sounds like you or someone you know, I'd welcome the opportunity to speak with you. My contact details are on the screen for you. Thanks. And of course, our offices abroad have a number of opportunities that you might be interested in. Looking specifically at London, we have a finance manager role. They're paying 40 to 50,000 pounds. That is in the southeast of London. We have a private client solicitor in the West Midlands, 35 to 45,000 pounds. And over in Auckland, across the ditch here, we have a payroll administrator position that is paying 70 to 80,000 per annum. So if you are wanting to apply for any of our international working holiday jobs in addition to these overseas, please scan the QR code that you can see on the screen or apply directly. And of course, you can always visit our People to People website to gain more information on the jobs we're recruiting, and of course speak to a recruitment professional. That's it for Jobs of the Week. So as I said in my intro, very happy to have David Macciocca, the CEO and founder of Video My Job, joining us today. So thank you, David. We're very excited to get an insight into the platform and have a chance to talk to you about the impact that Video My Job is making. As I said to you offline before we started, I'm an advocate. I jump in front of the camera ideally once a week, and it is a tool that I use in my recruitment. So for those who don't know, can you tell us a little bit about Video My Job, how the idea came about?
Sure. Thanks for the introduction. So Video My Job is really solving a problem that is significant, where companies really struggle to communicate what it's really like to work within a company. Culture is hard to communicate, and Video My Job does that really well through our really neat video solution for recruitment agencies and for in-house talent teams. How the idea came about, I was in recruitment for quite some time. I had an agency which I did sell, and part of our success was creating a video for each job that came through. So in 2013, we turned the meeting room into a studio and recorded everything that came through in a real manual process. And having sold the company in 2015 off the back of our digital footprint going through the roof, we're really adopters of social platforms and obviously video as well. That led to an acquisition, and I just thought everyone should recruit this way and put together a team, knew the tech scene really well in Australia, and launched Video My Job. And fast forward to today, we're in over 50 countries, representing some of the world's biggest companies, and some amazing recruitment agencies as well, like People to People.
Yeah, well, that is an amazing journey, a little bit of an overused word, but wow, it's certainly making an impact. And People to People, as you said, does partner Video My Job and has done for a few years now. Our team of recruiters have created over 5,200 videos to assist in hiring, placing candidates, and certainly connecting with a range of different people and industries out there. How has the introduction of video throughout the recruitment process changed the industry, or the way both recruiters and in-house teams work for the better over the last couple of years?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So sort of think about pre and post COVID. before COVID, it was a real challenge. People were really uncomfortable on video, and in some instances still are today. But it was definitely a problem prior to COVID. But one thing COVID did do was push people in a direction that took a giant step into video because they had to do that because they couldn't get to the office. So people got a lot more comfortable with how they looked and sounded on video, and it became the norm. So we don't really come across that issue much anymore. So fast forward to today, and yeah, the use case, which was 100% a video job ad, is now more employee stories. So 18% today represent video job ads, and people are using it to communicate more effectively. So the barrier to creating a video comes down to time and strategy. It is a real challenge for recruiters to jump on video because they're just juggling so many different requirements. And it can be challenging for some environments where leadership isn't very strong, but dictates that they should be doing it for the general purposes. The upside, however, is huge. You guys have just put a stat there, over 5,000 videos. That's incredible, because all the videos are branded. They're really they're good quality, high quality videos. So in terms of cost, not having to engage with the digital agency, not worrying about getting that video back in 14 days, 7 to 14 days. So there's a huge cost reduction, a time reduction, and then there's the added benefit of just having better applications coming through.
Absolutely.
Well.
And I mean, there are still some camera shy people, but you're right. I thought when listening to you there, we're in front of the camera for a lot more reasons today versus pre-COVID, when it might have been FaceTiming our sister in New York from the couch on a Sunday night or something like that. So it is about building people's confidence, and I can speak from experience there. The thing that I'd like to highlight for you is that it keeps it real. When I get in, I've been around for a long time in the recruitment industry, coming up for 3 decades. But if I jump on camera and talk about a job, interview a candidate, or even just talk about a candidate, it's coming from the heart. And it doesn't matter that I might not be a newsreader professionally trained. The content I'm sharing, I might even stumble words, as I probably will today during this broadcast. But it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, my view is that it really shows that this is a real job working for real people, and my job description or my advertisement will have a limited amount of information, the key criteria possibly, but I add the flavor to it. And many a time you'll see on my videos, I've jumped on and said something like, hey guys, I'm recruiting for a hiring manager I've known for over 20 years. Suddenly that is a different flavor to, hello everyone, I'm recruiting for an international law firm based in Sydney, and so on and so forth. So it adds a personality, and it's certainly, apparently, according to the stats, you do get a higher return from an application point of view on a advertisement that has a video. But as you highlighted, it can be used for many other things, market updates and so on there. You touched on a couple of the challenges. What would be the biggest challenge for yourself and or recruiters or in-house teams moving towards a video-centric recruitment process?
Yes, so it does come down to leadership. Video My Job software is very easy to use, as you just highlighted, and there are benefits to communicating the message to candidates to provoke them to take action, whether it be apply for a position or just put in an inquiry. So its limitation is really only as good as the person who's been tasked to do it.
Absolutely.
And it is about getting into a rhythm and a routine and just building that muscle. Some people can feel a little bit awkward because it's not like a personal video where you just, as you mentioned, on the couch on Sunday night, videoing someone in your family. You're representing your company brand as well. And some companies can be a little bit judgy, and they might not have the right culture. that really support people who are putting them out there. And that's a real shame, because I can tell you candidates really want to hear from the recruiters, and they want to know that the position is obtainable. So as you mentioned, just telling people that you've been working with a customer for 20 years, it's really powerful, because they're picking up that if they did reach out, you'll be able to tell them what the nuance is of the position. And the most popular question that a candidate usually has is, who will I be working with and what's the culture like? And recruiters really struggle to be able to answer that question. But if you create a video, you are able to share that information a lot easier and just push them much further down the funnel. So I'd say the biggest barrier are the leaders, unfortunately, because candidates, videos move the needle in application conversion, time to hire, attrition, and referrals. And those metrics are very expensive within organizations to run. That is what the CFO or the executive sponsor is funding within a talent acquisition team. They're trying to reduce the cost. Video My Job doesn't make a talent acquisition company money. It saves them money, but it can make recruiters a lot more money through building trust with candidates and separating yourself as a service line from your competitors to the organisation that you're representing.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. And I am proud to say that the leaders at People to People have embraced Video My Job. We all have one or two people in our teams that are a little bit frightened of getting in front of the camera and frightened of how they might look and come across. But certainly having an engaging leadership team that drives the initiatives across the business is proving successful for People to People, and we're very happy to be, I guess, an advocate of Video My Job. So David, thank you for coming on the show today and joining us and sharing these insights. If there was a business out there or a team that perhaps might be looking to begin utilising Video My Job as a tool of their own, what would be the best way to get in touch, and how would they do so?
Yeah, I'm happy for them to reach out to me directly on LinkedIn. If they would like a demo, it's best to go through the website and just request a demo, and then an account executive will be able to walk them through the platform.
Yep. Now, I use my mobile phone. I've got clunky, 50-plus-year-old fingers that just drive, but even I can use the technology. So if I can do it, as people say, anyone out there can do it. Again, we've put your information on the screen here for those joining us on the broadcast today. We really do appreciate your time, and for those wanting to get in touch, reach out to David via the information below. So thank you, David. It's been a pleasure meeting with you, and enjoy your weekend.
Yeah, thank you. Likewise.
All right. Thank you. And as we move on in our broadcast today, let's take a look at our social media polls for next week. So actually looking at the one that went to market last week, with the rise in recent years, do you think your company is falling behind without utilising AR? A staggering 81.6% said yes, it is. And only 18.4% so no, it doesn't affect us. So some absolute food for thought there around AI. Your different companies are utilising and in different ways, as are different sectors within any given market. So some valuable insights there. Jacob's going to share with us on screen now this week's poll, and we always appreciate those who do respond, because it gives us an insight into your thinking. How has the rising cost of living impacted your job search in 2024? The options to consider: can't afford changing job, finding a job with more flexibility, and looking for an increase of salary expectations, or none of the above. Cost of living is a very hot topic. Any dinner party, any Friday night down at the pub, definitely a topic that is being discussed, particularly with the budget being released earlier this week in Australia. So jump onto People to People social media across LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and X to have your say, and also to stay ahead of the job market and be the first to hear about any new job opportunities across Australia. So, everyone, after 19 years with People to People, it's my first time to be hosting today. I thank you for tuning in. I've enjoyed being a part of P2P Live Australia. It's a beautiful sunny day out there in Sydney. Let's hope it stays around for the weekend. So, have a good one, and we will see you next week, 12:30 p.m., for our employment and market update. Take care.